Honestly, I really want to leave. I think we should leave together. So you're gonna watch this back and see, like, I'm like Buddha. I'm far removed out of this game.
But an unexpected turn of events has now changed everything.
I used my anxiety to create this game. That's what's happening here.
Jeff.
Yes.
Good evening. It is week 1 eviction night here in Big Brother 24 USA. We're here streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch. Super Mater Brothers Podcasting. Dave Mater and Jeff Mater. Hopefully Jaemeel Robinson to join us shortly as we're going to break this down. But there was no eviction, Jeff.
No.
A self-eviction. Paloma goes out here, and it unexpected turn of events that has changed everything, and kind of it put a foil in all the producers' little twists. The backstage boss and the people, they were gonna have a battle. It was gonna be epic. Julie explained there was gonna be this epic thing. It was gonna be so cool. Somebody was like on the block was gonna fight somebody from the backstage, and then they were like, it was gonna be a kind of a different type of an eviction. But instead, your boy Daniel there from the draft, his HOH is nothing. He put 3 people on the block, Jeff. None of them went home. They're all safe. They're all still in the game. His HOH has had no lasting repercussions. There was a bunch of competitions, I guess, but it was kind of a and he has not blood on his hands because no one went home, but he has certainly not made friends.
He had power and he didn't even get to wield it. Like, that's like the ultimate worst thing about that. But all right, let me just off the top, Dave, say I actually think this was one of the most powerful episodes of Big Brother I've ever watched. I thought the way the house, it was electric. I don't often say that. I find Big Brother America to be kind of silly a lot of the times. I think Jaemeel will understand me when I say, like, most of the time I find it kind of quirky, especially in the first few weeks. You're just getting to know these characters. The way the house reacted to the whole Paloma thing, and then afterward during the live, I actually thought it was really, really good. Like, the house was very engaged, and I was engaged as a viewer. That, I actually thought that was really powerful. That this house actually came together in that way. So I actually really enjoyed that part of the episode. But also, Paloma, they do psych evaluations, right? Like, was she okay to, like, enter the house? Like, was she in a state of mind that was good? Like, because don't they kind of like test people and like, is it?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if we know that for a fact. Well, that's a different type of a view there.
That's my main question off the top, because I feel like they sometimes people like shouldn't really go on TV. Like, it wouldn't be good for the, you know what I mean? Like, and that's when they do those psych evaluations for reasons. And not that she couldn't handle TV, but she probably couldn't handle the house. Like, she probably wasn't in, like, the right frame of mind, it seemed like. Is that how you kind of saw it too, Dave?
Yeah, I feel like she was not built for this. But how do you psych evaluate somebody for this kind of an experience where you're being watched by cameras 24/7,
right?
And she's 22, so it's not she's like, if you're not self-aware, I feel like this is something she's still struggling with, is her own self-awareness. This was quite the self-eviction train wreck. We've seen this before. It's not the first time somebody has left a season early, because they had a fight. I feel like her role and what she was doing with Taylor kind of also got to her.
Yeah.
I think she kind of was self-aware enough to know that was not going to look very good on her. And I feel like she was doing a lot in the diary room earlier on in the episode to try to, like, mitigate that damage, like to sort of say, it's kind of the game and whatever, and it's how it plays out. And then she's like, then we see other scenes where she's like trying to be nice to Taylor and everything else. Question here from B-Bean, Jeff. Evening to you as well. Do we owe Paloma an apology?
Well, for what? Like, because we were like, oh, this girl's crazy. Like, is that, that's kind of what we were saying with Jaemeel. Yeah, we're bringing Jaemeel on in. Jaemeel, question here from B Bean. He says, do we owe Paloma an apology?
You good? Look, how about this? How about this? Does Paloma owe uh Taylor an apology? No. If she doesn't mean it, no. So why should we in turn give Paloma what did we say that was wrong? Did we say
Right.
something that was wrong?
Well,
don't think so.
what do we have to apologize to Paloma for? Well,
That
we
she
kind
had
of called
a-
her crazy, and then she ended up having a mental breakdown in the house, right? Like that's kind of, so I could see that point maybe, but I don't know. I think we're, when we're podcasting on a show, especially like a wacky show like Big Brother, you're gonna be like, oh my god, this girl's crazy. I was all for it. Here's the thing with Paloma, I want good TV, and I think I'm sad that she's gone because she was fantastic for the show. I said it last week. I was like, I think she's one of the best. She's one of the best casting people I've seen, like that they've cast in a long time. She's fantastic, like great TV. I get why they cast.
We only got a week, Jeff. She was at the center of like every alliance we went through last night in the spoiler section of the show. Jaemeel took us through all these alliances. She was in every one. She was
narrating the show.
She was narrating the show. She was the star of the show. And here, a complete meltdown. I get it. Like, hey, if you can't handle it anymore, if you need a psychiatrist, go take care of yourself. It's fine. But like, how bad I feel about it is not that bad. I think she'll be fine. I think it's, I think that it's for the best, I guess, and it would have been interesting to see how far she would have went. I guess it's kind of a what could have been.
Well, look, I think that everything I said, given what we were seeing on television, was fair, right? It's not like I was saying, like, these are people on a show that is being like, they're not their true authentic selves, and anyone who says that they're actually being authentic, it's a lie. They know they're on camera, so therefore there is the thought process of presenting a certain position. You may be caught off guard and something might slip through, but for the most part, you are putting on a presentation, right? How close to your original person, that could be up for debate, right? That's just the truth of the matter. They are not like, we should separate the fact of what we're seeing on the television show to the actual person. Do I think that
they're almost like characters?
Yeah. Do I think that Paloma is an awful person? No, I never said that. I never said that. Even the people I said that were doing stereotypical, showing bigotry and what was the term that you used, Dave, previously, concerning Pooch. I never said that Pooch actually is a bad person. Right?
Okay.
People can do bad things, right? That doesn't make them a bad person, right? It is not me to judge them on their actual person character, just on what is being presented, right? Paloma on the show and on the feeds came across as someone who was stupid in a lot of things that she did, full of shit in a lot of things she did, and friggin' nuts. So I don't take back anything that I said, right? If I was on the show and I did the exact same thing, I wouldn't be surprised if people said those things about me. Now, her mental health, that's important, but we can't turn around and say, and I know a lot of people were saying what Taylor was facing, that's part of the show. You having to struggle with your mental health, that's a part of the show too. Okay, and Paloma is not the first person that has to deal with it and has struggled with it.
Well, she won't be the last either.
She won't be the last. It's just how the show is. It's not necessarily built for everyone, right? Will she come back? I don't know. That's her journey, right? And I'll be interested to see if she plays again or she does something else. I wish her well, but at the same time, I'm not apologizing at all, right? The person I should apologize to is Indy. I shouldn't say that your job is a skyhooker. That is not appropriate.
No, it's perspective. We don't know. It's an idea. It's in the ether. We're just.
I love goat. Goat's my favorite color.
She's hilarious. She's
I
also
love horses.
She's I'm sad because Paloma's gone, because she was a great cast. Like she was
Yeah.
going to really control the narration of the season, and I actually probably would have disliked her, but I'm, as far as like I'd be cheering against her, but I actually really respect
We
that
need
person.
villains.
You need those type of players in Big Brother, because if you don't have them, you get kind of a boring season. And this season with her going far would have been really entertaining. It's sad that she's gone here because, I don't know, like, was she like, she just came in like she was running 100 miles an hour right away and was controlling everything.
Oh yeah,
And
I knew. I knew she was going out early. She was never making it to jury. I could tell pretty much in the last episode, especially seeing just how she was playing out as a player.
But it's possible if she stayed in the game, and BB, I'm going to come to your comments in a second, but if she stayed in the game, right, we know that Brittany was going to be safe, and it was going to be a choice between Paloma and Ashley. Paloma could have been facing Taylor in that backstage pass, and the way that Taylor kind of handled it, I think that there was a chance that Paloma could have went home, and we could have lost her, like, anyways.
Right.
So,
well, okay. What about this comment here that Paloma's father is a psychiatrist and probably got her pulled out? Was seeing that she was.
I don't know. Like that. At the end of the day, that was probably still her decision.
She's an adult, so she probably would have made the call.
There's so many conspiracy theories. Like Paloma was being told how America feels about her, and they put this mental health like position to kind of ease her off the show. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. She decided, right, that of her own accord that she was done. So that's it, right? That's
all she wrote.
That's what happened, and it ruined Julie's night. Jaemeel
ruined all these twists. There was going to be the backstage versus the Blockies. They were going to battle it out in a fight to the death or something like that, and we never got to see it. Instead,
are you sad that we missed it?
No, I'm okay with how this actually played out completely, because Daniel's HOH was this complete bomb that went nowhere because of what Paloma did, and because he kind of I think in part because he listened to her and put up Taylor and created all this drama. And we saw how that drama kind of played out with Taylor and Paloma and some of the other house guests before Paloma self-evicted, because there's a whole bunch of this episode before that where, like Paloma's saying, you're going to see Taylor.
So you're going to watch this back and see, like, I'm like Buddha. I'm far removed out of this game.
Right?
She was going to be amazing on this season. I can't believe she left. Like, I get it, you gotta, if it's personal stuff, but like, man, she was fantastic as a person to watch on the show, and to see her go is kind of sad for me.
Is that rude? Am I being rude?
Rude. Yeah.
Am I being really rude to you?
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Shane Powers reborn.
Yeah, it is phenomenal casting, but like, it sucks that she
wasn't meant to be.
But here's I asked you this question.
What?
Would you bring her back?
Oh, 100%.
So
if you can get her to do it, like, I think at this point, if you're casting, you gotta say she's a very high percentage chance of walking. She's already done it once.
I would still put her on, even though if you can get like a week or two out of her, right, and she feels secure and that she's willing to do it, why not? Put her on The Amazing Race. Put her on Survivor.
Yeah. Survivor would be fantastic.
They will never. They'll now that she's a quitter. She's a quitter forever. She's gonna have.
Probst wouldn't take her.
Probst would never take her. He won't even entertain. Not Mark Burnett would never allow it.
Phil would.
Phil Fagan.
Yeah. He's like massage.
Massage. But yeah,
I physically cannot sleep in this house. I'm exhausted.
So BB's comments about we as a fan base, and I did spend a little time on Twitter, right? We as a collective fan base, right? And I know you weren't. I was talking as the royal we, and I think that the show is always going to have a vocal fan base. And there were people who were like, pushing for Paloma. There are people who are saying that Taylor was robbed. There's a lot of things that people said, all camps around it, right?
Mhm.
As I mentioned before, right? What was happening on the show was wrong, but that's the show. The show isn't right necessarily,
Yeah.
right? And we have to kind of play that out. It wasn't as bad as what BB16. BB16? Am I remembering right? That's Aaron
The Derek?
Grimes.
Derek.
No, 15 then.
That's 15. Yeah.
Yeah,
15.
you're thinking of 15. Yeah.
15. It wasn't BB15 bad,
No.
right? Where it was like bad. It wasn't
Pushing
even like,
over mattresses and bullying.
saying a lot of mean things.
this was a lot of targeting, yes, but that's in every season. Person's too strong, I'm going to target that person, right? We see it all the time. Like tall, good-looking people. How many models have been the first one booted out, right? It's a common thing.
Yep.
Right? Now, we're just now kind of seeing the racial question being kind of answered. Now, are we now going to look after models now, or is that where we're going to now? We're going to look after the class of models that have been poorly maligned in Big Brother history, right? We have to strike and understand that where the game is. We have to let it play out, and then we can look back and make decisions as to how it's going to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, was it racism? And I mentioned this before, right? There was a little bit of stereotyping, but Paloma's biggest issue, and it came back tonight, was the pageant thing, right?
Yeah. Right.
She brought it up again. It wasn't even something that was hinted at. She was like, maybe you shouldn't mention that you were in pageants, right? It set it off. It's
It's definitely
Monty's
something
also responsible.
she has an issue with pageants or people who are in pageants, or she has some kind of a thing about it.
But Monty also took and fed information to Paloma, and it just snowballed, right? It could have been just as easily as Paloma said, Brittany said something to Pooch about Paloma, and it could have been, Paloma goes crazy after, I shouldn't say crazy. You know what? Yes, goes crazy after Brittany next week. We don't know, right? So
Right.
I think that we need to all take a breath, right? And we need to also give the time to showcase itself. Now, do I believe that they would have edited all this information that we saw tonight if Paloma didn't leave? No, I don't at all. I think all that that Paloma, they felt like it was an ending for Paloma, and I think that was like their kind of like swan song, easing her out kind of edit. And so who's responsible for the edit? Is it us to demand that they show what really happens on it? I think that is more important than constantly micromanaging what happens on the feeds, because I feel like all of that will play out when they come out of the house, right? And casting takes note of it, although US casting hasn't really been doing a good job of that as of late. But I'm ranting and raving myself.
All good. Yeah, like this was I agree. This was an ending for Paloma in this episode.
For now.
I feel for now. We'll see if we ever see her again. I think there may be some callings for her. She lasted like 3 episodes, guys, or 4 episodes, whatever it was in total. But it was a memorable 4 episodes for Paloma.
She's coming back for finale.
She's coming back.
I've never seen a first boot.
People who walk never get invited back. At least they're not paying for the plane ticket.
They soar. I bet
She's
you.
from San Diego. It doesn't matter.
I bet you. Hey, maybe might see her next week.
Hey, you should say, hey, Paloma, I've been watching you. Tell me, like, I'm not apologizing to you for anything the community said.
Would it surprise you in like a week if she comes back and Julie does like an interview with you? It's like, what happened? How are you doing? Like, could you see that happening?
I could see that happening. I wouldn't say I see that the chances are not 0. I don't know how likely it is, but it could happen.
Look, what happened with Paloma is a good example that everyone should kind of like take note of. One, we need to be aware of our biases, right? And how that can affect other people, right?
Mhm.
Was
Yeah.
she consciously going after Taylor? I bet part of it was unconsciously,
Yeah.
right? And the second part, our reliance on media and interaction, and sometimes when we're put in position, we can't handle it. And understanding how we feel, right? And being able to properly diagnose and do what's best for us in the end. Lessons learned, right? Sure, she didn't win, but this can be a learning experience for all, right? And I mentioned before anyone said, "What about how Taylor was?" Taylor is going to be fine, right? Taylor is not some person when she leaves the game, she's going to be begging on the street, right?
Yeah.
So
I think, Paloma's biggest mistake was like, she had this thing with Alyssa, and then once she had that, she probably should have tried to befriend Taylor, and really brought her into the alliance and really like made her trust her as like a 3-person alliance. And that would have really avoided all this stuff. I think she went into this tailspin of prejudice of pageant girl, and she's lying and she's trying to get guys, and I'm almost intimidated, threatened by these things. It's kind of how it felt, and but it felt like a deep rooted thing that is beyond the game. It's just within her, and that's kind of how I read the situation. It seemed like I didn't understand why she was so threatened by this girl,
It was kind of irrational, is what it felt like.
Well, yeah, like it felt like out of nowhere, like this girl for how long, and yeah, she's trying to like, suck you up to the guys or whatever, but it didn't require you to basically make up this whole story and really come after her in the way she did. I thought it was all very dirty pool once it got to that stage, but the genesis of it seems to be her some sort of offense to the fact that she uses her looks to basically garner attention from guys, and that's how she's playing the game. But it seemed to really offend her to the point where she needed to get her out of the house immediately. And that whole part was like, I didn't get it. Like, I was like, why? It seems you should probably want to work with this person. You have a girls alliance. I don't understand why you're not.
You don't even want to hear. She want to be heard out.
My entire game is on the line because of a misunderstanding, and you don't even have the time to hear me out.
Like
Taylor,
they trashed her for like a week straight, and then she finds out sort of about it, not even really.
Mm-hmm.
And
and the anxiety just spiraled out of control, basically.
Yeah, Paloma, I think, should have just tried to use her, in the girls alliance, and just make it like a 3-person alliance, keep her close,
or just like whatever. She's going home. It doesn't matter. Just play out the conversation however you want, Paloma. But she couldn't. She was kind of driven by this whole. Am I being rude or whatever it was, right?
Like, I'm telling you, Taylor, right now, I don't even want to hear it. And I'd rather go to sleep than hear you try to explain yourself because I'm so tired. And that sounds rude. Is that rude? Am I being rude?
Rude. Yeah.
Am I being really rude to you?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, she was.
But she
Just a
also,
little bit.
it's rude, yes, but she was also, exhausted that time period and probably couldn't handle talking.
Right.
Sometimes when you play too hard, right, it just becomes so much. If Paloma did even half of what she did and just ease back and let the week play out, right, she would have been golden. But
do you want what I kept thinking about when they said she couldn't sleep was the way Tony played in Survivor, where he said he like didn't sleep at night, and that's not a joke. Like the other contestants both times, all 3 times.
The more tired they get, the more energized I get.
He would stay up all night and like tend the fire and like not sleep, and he just was a crazy person.
But he could run away and run out into the woods and stuff. You're trapped in there, and sometimes the backyard is closed, so you go in a room and there's people there,
Put her
Right?
on Survivor. Paloma for Survivor. Let's start the hashtag.
You think she could be like a Tony?
I asked, hey guys, what is your energy
I
level?
do.
Everybody said 0, 0, 2. They asked me what's mine. I said, I'm about a 7, but I'm like a 15 right now, you know? So I should have dialed it down back to 2 because I don't want them to think that I'm real energized, but I just can't help it. I mean, they can see it.
Yeah, I want a Paloma on Survivor, and I think you would get she would be able to handle it better.
Guys, can we talk about this HOH competition?
So, what HOH competition?
What, the duels?
The duels, or like it was like part 1 of an HOH competition, where we had the duels, guys, and we had all these like different matchups that played out here in this. Did anyone track it? Did anyone take notes on who played who?
I can kind of remember. So it was Kyle versus Kyle versus Turner, where Kyle just smoked.
That was one match, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was Yaz and Terrence.
Yaz and Terrence, yes. Indy and
Pooch.
Yeah,
Indy and Pooch. Did Indy win?
No.
Pooch won.
No, it was Indy against Joseph. Sorry, Pooch.
Yeah, it's Indy. Joseph.
Pooch was against somebody else. Was it Amira?
Yeah, but okay. Did you find it unsatisfying that they didn't like finish it out or have some kind of conclusion? Because we basically got four like semi-finalists, and they're like, okay, check it out Sunday when you find out what these 4 semi-finalists.
So Kyle wins.
So yeah, so it was Kyle, Yasmin, Taylor, and
Michael.
And Michael.
Yeah.
And it was Monty in there too.
Michael beat Pooch. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because there was 15. There was whatever,
no,
like
14.
7 matchups, huh? 14.
14. So 7.
7 matchups. So
I just have to say when they picked Pooch, right?
Yeah.
And then Michael was picked right after, right? And I was like, this football coach is about to get smoked by this like tall gay guy. And it happened. And I
lawyered.
Like,
he got lawyered.
He got lawyered.
No, he runs an escape room. Don't worry about it. Michael, Taylor, Joseph, Amira, Jasmine, Kyle, and Monty are the first 7. So one of those 7 people is going to be the next HOH.
Can I give you a guarantee of who's not going to win?
Who is not going to win?
Jasmine.
Jasmine, who rolled her ankle seemingly after she already had won. She was fine, and then she jumped off the platform and completely rolls her ankle almost immediately. I had to play it back a couple times to see.
Was it after she won? She jumped off.
Yeah, she jumped off like the platform. Basically, I don't have a picture of it, but she like jumped off this platform and basically onto like this mat, which was soft, which she wasn't like, I guess, expecting. She was expecting it to be more firm, so her foot sank in a little bit, and then it like sort of moved over.
I turned my head. I'm like, what? Who shot her? Because she was just dead on the ground.
She went down like a ton of bricks.
We don't know if part 2 is just some kind of physical competition or something like that.
I don't know. It might
or
be,
some mental. It might be a mental competition.
Could be a mental thing.
So it doesn't matter, or they'll change it to a mental competition.
Didn't Monty win too?
Monty won. Monty is one of the 7. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah,
here
Nicole.
it is. Okay, this is, guys, I have a great angle here, a great shot. Hold on. Oh wait.
Oh,
I lost it. 1 second.
You were just there.
Okay. She comes off here, and there's a boom. Okay, that's just a good one. All right. Right there.
Oh.
This is where you can see the weight distribution here is not sound.
No, that's
right?
a broken leg.
She's got a forward motion here. Yeah.
You think it's a broken leg?
It could be. It could be. No.
No, she probably rolled her ankle. Pretty bad.
She goes down here and she stays down for a few minutes. They have to pull her off.
Down goes Frazier.
Down goes.
But,
not smoking Joe Frazier.
Okay, so
Big D Frazier
or not Big D.
You have to tell me. I know she's in pain, but it's a live eviction.
She does.
Couldn't
She
she
is.
rolled off the course so they can get to the next person.
That's true. That's a situation where you go, you know what? It's already soft anyway. I'm just gonna crawl myself over here.
Maybe with these final set, maybe they had something they were planning for us to see, but this took up all the time and they couldn't do it.
Well, she had to zoom through her final notes very quickly. You know, she wasn't able to pause after she said like whatever, God bless her, God blessing greetings or whatever when she's telling everyone to leave.
Yeah, was that karma for lying that Taylor called her fat?
I'm not gonna say that. Like, we'd like to say that like the good people win and the bad people lose, but that's not always the case. So it isn't karma. It isn't karma that Paloma went home because of how she treated Taylor. It's a situation that happened, and then another situation happened. Sorry.
She was even sprawled out on the stage.
They couldn't even have her sit down like on the edge or anything like that.
No, it was. This is serious business. This was a career-ending injury, guys. Big Brother. So
it's like Scottie Pippen on the sidelines getting worked on by the physio.
This is like this is Christmas level injury.
Yeah.
So she's gonna make it to the end, and she's gonna marry a Memphis-like character in like All Stars.
Yeah, well, she's already married, but she might get remarried to a guy like that. Yes.
As long as
but I can't win if I can't play.
Well, that's true.
Guys, yeah, I thought it was fun to see the duels play out and like Daniel pulling the chips out and doing all like this person versus this one, right? And like until there was like a process of elimination, but it was instead of like I guess picking who's going to play who. I liked that part more. But what these 7 people will do in the finals and why they couldn't do something for us, or just they would have had to cut out more of the Paloma stuff, right? You would have really had to yada yada.
Well, it was all live, so.
But if we can do a double eviction in one night, why can't we do?
They would have started it earlier.
Yeah. So
maybe instead of like, I'm going to tell you, the audience, and the cast all at the same time, right? They didn't need to do that. Say just bare facts. Say it. All right. I revealed it to the cast. You cut it where you have the cast reaction, minus the unnecessary praying, because I absolutely rolled my eyes at this. Right.
I think this episode should have been an extra hour. Like it should have went a lot longer.
What do you think CBS had on after this?
I have no idea. This was like, I think a lot happened, in this house, and
Paloma walked out this morning, right?
Right. So
she was already in distress since last night. Feeds have been off really from last night too.
So yeah, like I guess like it's personal and they just deal with it that way, which is rare, for a TV show like this to do that.
But okay, their backstage twist might have been ruined, right? But don't you worry, we're getting more because Julie says next week, guys, next Thursday, we are going to get a whole new type of thing. Here it is.
Next Thursday, I have a huge announcement that will turn the house upside down. At that point, the house guests will have had 2 weeks to get to know each other, and this will all be critical because the game is about to change. Find out details next Thursday.
Teams.
No, we don't need
Come
teams.
on. She's like, they've now got to know each other, so that will be important about next week. It's going to be teams.
Do you think they were sitting around in their brainstorm and they were like, hey, remember when we did teams? And like, yeah, it never worked, but maybe it didn't work because the teams were made before the people knew each other. So what if they make the teams after they know each other? Will that cause what they want to happen? Probably not. It will never.
They do. You're right. They do like to do like odd scenarios like that. That like, oh, they have to decide what side of the line do they really stay on. It kind of never really works out exactly the way they want it to.
Or they do safety chain.
Yeah,
but safety chain so early isn't really good. Doing it like at the midpoint, which they did in BB Can, was great. It was fantastic. Because it hurt more when people did not get picked by the people that they thought they trusted.
Right. Yeah. So, are you guys like? How do you feel about this season so far? Like, based on this whole Paloma thing, who I think we all thought was entertaining at the very least, and now we got this sort of like. I guess it depends on who the next HOH is. So I feel like right now I'm just kind of waiting to see what's next. You think it will be Kyle?
If it's anything like what we just saw tonight, Kyle is gonna smoke these people.
Well,
Or Monty might beat him.
Okay, let's talk about Kyle a little bit just for a second, because on tonight's episode, right, he was like talking to Paloma, and he's like, or I think it was Paloma. He was like, I didn't even do anything, and now I'm in this alliance, and now it's great. I'm in this like big alliance. I was my strategy. Don't start any alliances. Wait for them to come to you.
Oh, that was
And
Kyle.
then-
Yeah.
right. And so that's Kyle, right? And so he's in power. He's got to, I guess, keep those people safe because he's more likely to give the benefit of the doubt.
He's gonna definitely put up Taylor and Terrence. Why put up
Right.
anyone else outside of the people who already been put up before?
Yeah, well, I guess like is that you think that's what most of these. What if Michael was the HOH?
Michael said he would have Taylor's back, so he would probably put up maybe Daniel and Nicole.
He definitely put up Daniel. Yeah.
Daniel and Nicole.
Yeah.
Well, that would be great. So I think we're going for
No,
Michael.
those are my draft picks.
Jeff.
Only
okay,
one of
let's-
them would look. Chances are, if Nicole got taken off the block, then whoever replaced her would be going home.
Let's check draft update for just a second because we see that Paloma's off the list here. That was on Team Jen, so she has Michael left.
Jenny was a good choice.
It was
She
not
had a
terrible.
she had a good team. I mean,
She went 13th overall in our draft, Jen or Paloma. So she went ahead of a few people like Alyssa, Terrence, and Kyle. That's who Jen could have had instead. I think it was not terrible. Well, Kyle was a kind of a pickup here for Jane. I think like we all kind of passed Kyle over, and he might go far in this game.
He might.
I think he's right.
Jane might win this. I agree
with Kyle.
But I don't have a problem with my pick still. I think Alyssa's still a good. I think she's gonna be there for a while. Alyssa.
Yeah, I agree. She's definitely savvy.
Brittany and Jasmine for Sean.
Brittany tonight, guys. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Brittany was kind of disaster.
Wow, is all I have to say. The whole she's trying to save herself and she's throwing her alliance members under the bus and she blatantly lying to Amira. I'm just like, my God.
She was really reading into the backstage thing, boss thing with Pooch in particular. This is going to be about him, and he's going to have to pick which one of his flunkies is going to have to walk.
She
the
was
plank.
right, though. She was right.
She was right, but she shouldn't have done what she did. It didn't help her in any way to do what she did. So it was just kind of way overthinking it. Dave is a good way to put it, because like, what are you doing? Like, no, just stay back. You're probably going to be safe. Just play along to get along. But a lot of Big Brother is that you have to just kind of ride the wave a lot of the times. And she was in a good spot in the house. She didn't need to do what she did there with Pooch, and Pooch sucks. I mean, are you talking to him?
He does. Like,
yeah, not impressing me too much with Pooch. Who's got okay? So Daryl has Pooch and Indy. I don't know.
Indy's got a better chance than Pooch. That's what.
I think people actually, despite the girls not liking Indy has found a way to. She has her own little niche.
She's endearing.
Yeah,
like that's the one thing you can definitely say about her. You could tell like, oh, people like her just because she's neat and foreign and kind of like like she's interesting. Like. I also feel like Joseph, like I think they raced against each other. And Joseph and her, I think, kind of bond in that way because they're both kind of like immigrants that are, fresh immigrants. Very, very recent.
Fresh immigrants.
Well, yeah, like she just came from Brazil. I'm not sure about Joseph, but I know he said he was Palestinian, so I'm sure.
Like, yeah, I don't. I think he's first generation or whatever.
Right.
But yeah. Okay. What about my team, guys? Monty and Amira.
So before we get to your team, sorry, let me go back to Brittany, and the whole situation with Pooch. She was doing so well in terms of like reaching out to Pooch and and talking with Pooch and doing a good job and laying some groundwork. She should have stepped away once she put that groundwork in. She decided to, instead of letting the hand play out, go all in immediately, which made no sense to me, and that's how she got burned. That crazy ass.
Yeah, when she talks to people sometimes, I'm like, oh my god, she's got the crazy eyes going.
Okay.
What are we called? What are we calling? Girls.
So Monty, and you said Amira.
Monty and Amira. Let's talk about Team Dave in this draft.
You like your picks?
I'm liking my picks.
I like Amira for you way more than Monty.
I'm also liking the Amira pick better than the Monty pick, but I picked them back to back. I had the 8th pick, so it was kind of like I took 2 draftees. I technically took Monty first. But I think that these two are both well positioned in the game. I don't think anyone's looking to target them yet, at least. And so I'm sure, there's all kinds of theories going around in the house, but that's to be expected.
Jaemeel, who has a better team? Team Jeff or Team Dave?
Oh, well, obviously, Jaemeel's question.
I like Nicole a lot.
Yeah, see, me
and
too.
Daniel is... Oh, Daniel.
Not great.
If this was WWF mixed tag team wrestling, what team would win?
The Cop. The Cop.
Nicole, just because they have Nicole on that team?
Yeah, she's a cop. She's the unassuming cop.
Well, I think Monty would best Daniel.
I think Monty, the way he took that whole situation with Taylor,
very bad. I think he is not looking
what he did before. His reaction to once he got the detailed information afterwards was a poor showing. He should have tried to break bread with Taylor because he has nothing to lose with burning. Why do you need to burn that bridge with that type of reaction to Taylor when she's trying to figure out what happened? It's not you who blew it up. It's Paloma, and Paloma do not say, well, Monty said it this way. Paloma's like, no, I don't want to talk about it at all. So why would you put yourself in a position where someone doesn't like you on purpose? Daniel already doesn't like Monty and would have put him up if they weren't in an alliance together, right? If people turn on Monty to feel like, well, Taylor came with information sincerely to make sure that he was okay, and he took it and twisted it, that isn't a far cry from people to turn on Monty, because it's not like he's beloved.
Look at that face.
Well, he led the prayer vigil for Paloma.
Let's pray for Paloma. I was like that. He was leading that congregation. I thought
he really took hold of that situation, and he made it his moment. I enjoyed it a little bit. It was kind of neat.
Amira. Can we talk Amira just for a second?
I wasn't there. I'm lucky I wasn't there.
Is Amira going to win this game?
No.
I think she might. I think here's a chance.
Amira, good chance as any.
I think she could be the winner of Big Brother 24. Amira.
Dave is not winning this season.
So Team Dave or Team Jeff, Jaemeel?
Team Jeff.
Thank you.
Daniel and Nicole is lame. The what are they called?
The road rats.
The road rats.
The road rats. Most of these things we talked about are out of, because Paloma's gone, right? So we just have to remember that Paloma is not in any of these. She's not nameless anymore. Maybe somebody else will take over there.
This is great for Daniel and Nicole. They're not in any of these alliances.
So they'll be picked. Mamba? Is Mamba gone now?
Who knows?
The Oasis. Paloma wasn't in the Oasis. That was all the guys' lines.
Yeah.
And now Girls is devastated without will it be Taylor to take Paloma's place in Girls? Wouldn't that be the most ironic thing?
Taylor takes over at the Girls Alliance.
Yeah, Girls is now run by Taylor.
And it goes to her head, and she's worse than the Paloma.
But she makes it to the final 5 of the Girls. And just,
you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah,
that would be so interesting to see Taylor just turn, and then the internet's like, "We hate Taylor. Where's Queen Paloma? She was right on along."
Yeah.
She just has like a great cackle laugh in the DR and just
Fools.
Taylor looks like a straight up living doll.
this was my plan all along, don't you see? Like it would be amazing.
Yeah. I always was right about her.
I don't think flaunting around like this is a pageant is the best idea.
Mhm.
Oh, Lord.
Guys, all right. So that's draft update. Do we have any spoilers, Jaemeel, about who the next
They're not
HOH
going to
is?
bring back live feeds until West Coast airing, so we got a while. Supposedly,
Lame. Okay.
LeMay?
Well, LeMay. Let me also say, okay, this whole thing with Paloma leaving in this episode reminded me a little bit of. Do you remember Big Brother 19, guys? Do you remember Megan?
Oh yeah,
Megan Louder. She was a dog walker from Phoenix, Arizona. She walked out on day 8, similarly, the same day too. And here we are 5 seasons later with the same thing happening again. Right. So, but when Megan left, it was just like she's gone. There was no respect to any kind of mental health sort of concerns or having a sympathy towards that. It was more like, screw her. She wasn't invited back to the finale, and they never saw her again. That was the season with like Raven and a lot of like it had Kevin Schlubber and Josh Martinez and Christmas.
Oh, of course, Christmas.
Well, I guess if I had to live with Christmas, I might evict on day 8 too. I don't know. It was can't win if I can't play. But yes, guys. What else? What else is there to say about this episode other than
You know what? The house is interesting. I'll give them that. But Paloma being gone, that hurts. It hurts.
it hurts? I want to see somebody not from the Power Alliance win the next HOH. I think I definitely would rather see either Michael win or maybe. Well, who are the 7 finalists again? That can win this. We got Joseph. What if Joseph is the next HOH?
That would be weird.
boring.
What
It's
if
like introduce. Hey, I'm Joseph. You might not know me because I've
Yeah.
barely been on the show.
No, I want Taylor. Taylor is the ultimate next HOH. That would be the best story.
That would be great.
Now, Jaemeel, we have a bit of an issue with the next 2 Thursdays because Jeff and I are in the playoffs for our ball hockey against.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Which are both on Thursday nights. One game is next 10 o'clock next next Thursday night, as well as the following Thursday night, which makes eviction night.
Right, but
Next Thursday night, I'm actually going to be at a party for Indeed Paramount. I got tickets to Paramount's hottest ticket, the Paramount party, fandom party, on Thursday night. So, are they going to be showing Big Brother at the party itself? I don't know.
Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But we may have a tough time doing the show on those nights. So just giving you a heads up, and the audience for that matter as well, that we may not be able to deliver for the next 2 Thursdays. We'll have to see.
Let's see. Big Brother airs at 9 o'clock, so that is.
B-Bean's looking to host the show. You might not be that. I might take you up on that.
6 o'clock Pacific time, right? 6 o'clock. I would be just finishing up a panel and going to the party itself. So I don't know. I could I have a guest here right beside me. Thanks.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I'm recording right now. Oh, okay.
Is that your mom?
Yes, that is my mom.
It's Mrs. Robinson. Hello.
She
We have the same birthday, me and her.
March
Her and I.
18th.
We're both March 18th.
Okay.
Here's to
Pisces
you,
power.
Mrs. Robinson.
Well, you're
Here's to you,
drinking.
Mrs. Robinson. Pisces power.
Okay. There's a random person showing up. I'm wondering what's going on.
Hi, Jameel's mom. We got a hello. We got a shout out in the comments too. It's definitely
Yeah, someone shouted you out. So yeah, I could try to broadcast, but obviously I can't. I'll be spotty internet in San Diego.
Okay,
Wow.
well, we'll have to see how it goes. But I want to. The next week. I'm sure we're going to catch up on Sunday about who the next HOH is of those 7, and then how this is going to play out. What these other twists are that they might throw to us. Will we have to go to teams? I hope not.
I think it's teams. I think it's teams.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I'm not excited about it necessarily. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out. But if they can actually make it work, all the power to them. Okay, so we'll be back Sunday and Wednesday next week. We'll have to see about Thursday, including the following week for week 2 of Big Brother 24. Plus, you should check out our other coverage. Like we did Survivor season 42 and 41 and a bunch of other ones. Check out those in our back catalog of podcasts, including Big Brother Canada 10 and a whole bunch of other things like Marvel and Westworld. And Jeff, remember Westworld? Remember we used to podcast about that?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. I'm like, why am I watching this show anymore?
I was watching it like the first episode of season 4. I'm like, we've come so far, not in a good way.
It's gotten worse. That show was so good at the beginning. It's one of those shows that's just gotten worse.
Yeah. It happens. It happens sometimes. Also, if you want to hear when Jeff and I were talking about season 3 of Westworld back at like when the pandemic first hit, we were so optimistic about where things might be going with the show. So check out our back catalog.
Wish we could talk to those versions. And say, it
Yeah,
won't be worth it.
2020, David Jeff. Let's talk about season. You want to hear about season 4? You're not gonna be happy. It's been 2 years since the season came out between them, and it's hard to stay invested, but that's okay, guys. What else? We have Live Long and Podcast, our other Star Trek themed channel, where on Monday nights we talk about Star Trek Enterprise. We've been rewatching all those episodes, reviewing them, talking about them, rating them. Similarly, on Tuesday nights, I think we might be able to go back to that regularly. We have Star Trek Deep Space Nine at 9ish with we talk about Deep Space Nine episodes one by one. We've been doing that for over 2 years now. It was a 3.5 year journey that we knew we were embarking upon. Check that out. We're now up to season 5.
Ferengi Love Songs.
Ferengi Love Songs. It's a Ferengi themed episode next. We'll be talking about that. Plus, we've been talking about all the new Star Trek shows like Strange New Worlds, Lower Decks, Prodigy, Discovery, Picard. There's been so many that we've been going through one by one, rating them, reviewing them. We see a lot of people in the comments. Thank you for those comments that are going back and kind of seeing what we thought about the episodes at the time, now that they might be catching up on it with streaming. So you always let us know what you think, and make sure to like and subscribe and do all those things over there on Live Long and Podcast. And then Star Trek Radio Theater is our other endeavor, which this Saturday night we're going to be recording Death Wish, a Star Trek Deep Voyager episode where there was a courtroom drama. Jeff, you're going to be playing Maury Ginsburg as well as Sir Isaac Newton.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wait to see what I'm going to do.
We're going to see. For the first time ever, we're doing a rehearsal.
Ooh.
Jeff, we're doing it before we do the show.
Wow.
Just to work out anything that we might need to
make sure you don't waste Mott's energy. We need him fresh.
I know. I'm a little worried about Mott burning out, but we'll see how this goes. All right, because Mott's playing Tuvok in that episode as well. And Trivial Debates, guys, our third channel where we are about movies, TV, sports in a game show format. We got Jody Simpson set to host the next episode with Jeff Mader, right from this own podcast, competing against Max Duda and Chris Murphy. Jeff, were the questions released? Did I see something come out about that?
Did I get no? I mean, did I miss it?
I don't know. I thought I saw something, but we'll have to see. I thought I saw Adam Woodward, but Adam Woodward's not in the next one, so maybe they're talking about the one for August already. I think he's looking.
That's great. Already preparing for August.
We got an August panel already, like almost put together, I think, as far as I recall. Trying to remember who's in it now, but anyway. And then check out our friends podcast, like the Hellbound podcast, Michael Chan, Alex Blackburn every Wednesday. We got Let's Talk About Fighting Games, and then frequent podcasts from the great Sam Jerka, along with Super Smash Bros. Seth and Paranoia. They talk about King of Fighters and not Mega Man. And so what else, guys? We got Davin Skellhorn with the Locutors of Trek. I'll talk about Star Trek, all kinds of fun things over there, and his X-Men, the animated series X-Rated, which he does with Andre every Tuesday night, going through all those episodes, rating them, reviewing them, and breaking them all down, and really talk about how much they love that show, as do I. It was a great cartoon in the early 90s. Guys, I think we can sign out for tonight here on this podcast. Thanks for joining us live here as we're finishing about 11:30 here on Thursday, July 14th, 2022. And I think we should leave you the way Julie left us tonight, which was a little bit of a confusing outro. But until then, somebody's
So great.
always watching.
Let's eavesdrop on the house guests. Love one another. Good night.